what time it is? It's Q&A day time. Fuck yeah. There's nothing that I love more than a good old-fashioned Q&A day. But first, a couple of updates. Okay, update number one, Liz is gone. He hasn't been seen for like a week or so now, so clearly he's moved on and he's in a different house under a different deck. And that sucks. He will be lost, but not forgotten. Update number two, races for next year. Now, I've booked in 2 peak races for next year. 2 half marathons, one in July, the Gold Coast half marathon, and one in October, the Melbourne half marathon. There's gonna be lots of little races sprinkled in between, but those are my 2 peak races. No marathons just yet. No marathons just yet, because I don't think I have enough mileage in my legs to actually handle a full marathon training block, because I'm really fragile, I guess. But I think my raw fitness is still there. Like, I went on this bike this morning and went up my local hill climb, and I did a 1640, which is pretty good, because when I did my fastest 5K ever back in February of this year, I only did it in like 19 minutes. So my raw aerobic potential is way higher now after doing so much base training whilst being a bit injured this year. But I'm not allowed to talk about being injured anymore because people in the comments are sick of it. So yeah, Liz is gone, but actually my chili plants are doing way better than before. I'll show you. We'll worry about that later. Now, question number one is, what supplements should runners take and what supplements do I take? Now, I think runners should take supplements depending on the blood test results that they get. There's no point taking supplements if it's completely blind, because you're just wasting your money basically. But there are a couple of things that I actually take. Cool, so we have iron fumarate. Okay, this is an important one. What I will say is that you need to, once again, I've said it before, but I'll say it again, need to get a blood test before taking anything like this and talk to a doctor. Don't just blindly take it, because you're gonna end up in a hospital. But this is the one that I take that gives me the least amount of GI distress, and then obviously partnering it up with some vitamin C. I like these ones. And then, like I was saying, the B12 comes in a little ampule like this. And all you do is snap the top off, get a syringe, pop it in here, and then you don't have to worry about your B12 levels at all. And by the way, if you're eating meat and you think, oh, you know, I don't need to worry about my B12 levels, they actually inject B12 into the animals that you're eating to maintain your blood levels of B12. So maybe it's worth just checking that you're getting the right amount, or the farmer is giving you the right amount, okay? This stuff's really good. And look, I'm not trying to hate on people for eating particular things. Quite frankly, people can do whatever they want with their lives, but I certainly would rather just inject this than a farmer injecting random animals certain levels and just assuming that you're going to get the right amount, especially with something so important like B12 that's going to impact your fitness so much. Just take your health into your own hands. I'm not trying to hate on people's diets, do whatever the fuck you want to do, but this stuff, just get it checked and make sure with a blood test. So these are the 3 that are really important for running. Next question. Oh, actually, I almost forgot protein, because protein is really important for runners, right? The thing about protein is I've gone on and off, you know, big protein diets and things like that, and I don't ever find any difference in my recovery or my performance or anything having lots of protein and not having any extra protein, for example, like not going out of my way to eat way more protein. I've never found there to be any difference, so I generally just don't care about it. Yeah, I'll have a protein powder every now and then, but then it'll run out and I'll just not replace it for like 3 or 4 months. And once again, I never see any differences in that, but that's just my personal experience. If you want to have protein, go for it, buddy. Okay, next question, double threshold question mark. That is a interesting question. Now, for 99% of people, double threshold is going to be absolute overkill, and you probably would, you would definitely get injured trying to do double thresholds as a sub-elite athlete, because think about this. These athletes that are doing double threshold are trying to fix a problem that they've encountered, which is that they've maximized how much mileage they can do in a given week. They're doing doubles like every single day. And then the only thing that they can do is speed up those doubles in some capacity. And the easiest way to do that without getting injured is by doing threshold, because it's less fatiguing than anything else. So they're trying to solve a problem that, quite frankly, sub-elite athletes just don't have. Like, I've not maximized my aerobic capacity. So adding in double thresholds and stuff when I don't even do any really running doubles or anything might be a little bit overkill. But what you could actually do, if you feel like you've maximized as much as you can in this season, you could easily add in a cross-training double where, you know, you're doing a threshold session in the morning and then doing like a bike threshold session in the evening. You might be able to get away with that and not get injured, but for most people, double threshold is just completely off the cards because there's so many other levers that you can pull before even getting to that point. Okay, next question. Which is the hardest distance for you? 5K, 10K, half, or marathon? Well, I've never really ran a marathon, but there are particular ones that I find way harder than others. Like, I find the 10K to be the hardest personally for me. Like, a 10K is just so brutal because you're hurting for so long. A 5K, you're probably only hurting for like 2.5 Ks, which is, you know, maybe 10 minutes or something like that. Like, a 10K just hurts from 4 Ks in. It's just absolutely horrible. The half marathon seems to be a nice medium area where I really feel like I'm probably the best and the most economical at half marathon pace. Like, every time I've done like a half marathon workout, it just feels so smooth and effortless. 10K, you know, it feels like I'm really struggling, and a 5K the same. And I doubt that I'm ever going to be any good at marathon distance stuff because it just feels awful to run in that certain zone. Okay, next question. Where the fuck are the hats? That is a great question. Look, the hat's being made, but the problem is I still have to do so many other things before I can even sell these damn hats. It's really frustrating. I have to build a website. I have to fill that website with photographs and, you know, graphics and stuff like that. But to do that, I need to have the hats in my possession to be able to do that because they're slightly different to what I'm wearing right now. I've made some adjustments. So that means that I can't do anything until these goddamn hats come, and then I can smash this website out. I've got someone actually helping me now with some graphics and updating the logo and things like that. So that's gonna be great. And then I've got to figure out how to actually ship things around the world. Like, I've never done that before. I've got no idea how it works. I need a printer machine. I don't know which printer machine to get. I need the labels that go in the printer machine. Where the hell do I get that from? I have no idea. I'm an absolute noob. But this is the whole point of this YouTube channel is I wanted to do something that's just completely out of my comfort zone and challenge myself. And that's what I'm doing again with this website because I'm in deep, deep water and I don't know what I'm doing. But that's okay because I'm just going to share it on this YouTube channel and you guys can all laugh and follow along with the journey. And then eventually when I have a full catalog of excellent running clothing, you know, we can look back on these videos and just laugh at me, can't we? I would honestly laugh if I got all of these hats in as this phase one of this clothing brand, and then no one bought anything. That'd be hilarious. Okay, the next question is relating to an article that I haven't read yet, so I'm gonna go get my laptop. Okay, the title of the article is Strength and Hypertrophy Adaptations between low versus high load resistance training. Okay, so this article is talking about a comparison between low load intensities at around 60%. Did they say 60% 1 rep max? Yep. And high load training around 60 plus 1 rep max for your strength training to see which one is actually better. So essentially what they're saying here is that the maximal amount of strength that they could get from this training stimulus was when they were doing really high loads, basically. So the higher the load, the more strength adaptations that you're going to get. And that makes sense because hypertrophy is going to require much more muscle damage, whereas strength training is going to be a lot more neuromuscular, where you're relying on neural input to the muscles to actually move them as fast as possible. But since this is a running channel, basically runners shouldn't really worry about high rep things, like anything over, 3 to 5 reps, providing that's not rehabilitation based, that's trying to build tissue, general resistance up. If it's not part of a rehab program, then 3 to 5 reps for pretty much every kind of exercise is going to be perfect for runners, because runners just need that snappiness off the ground, and you only get that from increasing your strength and your speed strength and dynamic plyometric stuff. Just stick to 3 to 5 reps for everything. You're gonna be fine. 60+% of 1 rep max. And if you don't wanna do a 1 rep max, I certainly wanna do a 1 rep max at the gym. Find your 10 rep max and use a calculator online to figure out what your 1 rep max would be from that, theoretically, and then you can find 60% of that and you're all good. The more you know. Okay, that's it for all the questions that you guys gave me. If you have any more, put them in the description below, put them in the comment section below, what am I saying? And tomorrow I'm making a video about sleep. So that's gonna be an absolute banger. See you later. Oh, also, Instagram. I've started posting there quite a lot, and I only have like 100 followers, which is, I mean, like 100 is better than 0, but it'd be nice if I had some more, basically. So if you want to, you can get over there, and I just talk a lot of shit over there, just like here. So see how we go. All right, bye.